let's see. I'll put like 7 minutes on the clock for this one. For Robert, because Robert is
This is
our traveling reporter. He was at New Year's Evil.
Yeah, he sure was.
At NXT show on Tuesday, but I think it was on January 7th.
Yeah.
But there was actually a show on New Year's Eve, an NXT show on December 31st. I feel like that should have been called New Year's Eve.
Yeah. I don't know why they called it this.
Why is it January 7th? Like, that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, so let me pull up some pictures, and I'm going to ask you some questions about some things that you thought of this show. Okay. The Rock was there, obviously. With he had a segment with Ethan Page. But before that, I want to ask you about The Rock's promo that he cut at the end of the show, which kind of talked about what we talked about the night before, about how he's kind of not being the heel that's against Cody, and fans were complaining about that. And he told the fans to just know your role and shut your mouth, right? And that's it. I guess he just basically had a comment towards the fans that were talking shit about him. What did you think of that promo? Were you electrified with The Rock being there, and this promo ended the show?
Yes. I mean, I'm a big Rock fan, so of course I was excited to see him there. When I bought the ticket, it wasn't announced that he was going to be there. He didn't announce it until the night before, so it wasn't part of the plan to see him. He just happened to show up. So before he said to the fans to know their roles and shut their mouths, he did mention last year he was told, not to be mean to Cody, and now this year he's being told not to be nice to Cody. That's how he tried to spin it in a kind of a comedic way. Right. I thought that was hilarious. Now it doesn't explain why he's being nice to Cody, but that was his way of trying to address it. Robert,
I was trying to tell Vlad, because Vlad's like, it doesn't make sense why The Rock has returned as a heel, but I was trying to make sense out of it. Isn't Roman cool with Cody now? So shouldn't The Rock be cool with Cody? Like, The Rock has since teamed with Cody.
Okay, you know what? I didn't think of that, but you're right. That does make sense.
I know. It's kind of obvious,
but at least we saw that interaction between Roman and Cody, where they kind of like not became friends, but they decided to kind of call a truce temporarily. But we never saw an interaction between Rock and Cody and how all of a sudden they're cool with each other. So it was still a bit off-putting to see. But I did enjoy
what about the other segment with Rock and Ethan Page and Ava?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, well, I was very impressed actually with the Javon Evans video package, where he actually cut a promo with his mouth wired shut because Ethan Page broke his jaw. So he's doing this promo. He's like,
everybody in the audience was laughing because it was hilarious.
I know, but that's a very daring angle to run. I'm very impressed that they took a chance on it. So then Ava was telling Ethan Page, as Vlad shakes his head, but Ava was telling Ethan Page that he did a bad thing, and Ethan Page was like, you know what? That's the only thing anyone's talking about. So he was kind of talking back to her, and that's when The Rock came in. So this was interesting to me because this is the first time. Everybody knows Ava got this job because she's The Rock's daughter. Like, they never explained that on the show.
Why else would she be here?
So he comes in and he tells Ethan Page, you got to respect her because, obviously, right? And Ethan Page, from what I hear, is a big fan of The Rock. And although he was a heel, he was very respectful here and nothing happened. But it was a good segment, I thought.
Right. So, and I do want to point out one thing that happened in this segment. The Rock did mention at some point to Ethan Page, see you on the main roster soon. So I guess that's a hint that one of these days Ethan Page is going to be either on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, if it's a promotion, he deserves it. Ethan Page is a talent.
Absolutely.
And I do think he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so on your review, which is on our YouTube posts and in the links in the description, below of our NXT review. Robert did mention that since he was there, his review might feel a little different than his normal reviews. What does that mean? That you were kind of
because when you're there, yeah, when you're there live, it's a completely different energy, completely different vibe.
That's true.
Especially on an NXT show, because someone can go to a Raw or a pay-per-view live and may not necessarily be a like a diehard fan. You could be a casual, but if you go to an NXT show, you're not a casual. So I'm surrounded by people like us. You know what I'm saying?
No wrestling. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. So like there's a lot of inside jokes that you can hear people saying all around me. So like only people like us would get it because we talk about it all the time. So it's a very completely different vibe, very different energy when you're there live. And then I'm not listening to commentary, right? So I'm really focusing on the physical performance aspect. I'm not being influenced at all by anything that the commentator is saying. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, so comment on, if you can, Julia's match, and I guess also the Obafemi match. So we'll do the Julia one first.
Julia versus Roxanne, that's the match I paid the ticket for, and it delivered, so that was good. I don't know. Well, I have less than a minute. I don't know Julia's ceiling because she's not fluent in English, so she might her ceiling might just be like Io Sky's or Asuka's. I don't know, but she has a good look and she's good in ring, so we'll see. And then Eddie
Thorpe was the boy who cried wolf, where he actually got attacked this time, but Ava didn't believe him. And then Obafemi ended up winning in a match that was the booking was a little cluttery at the end. I think somebody got nailed with the belt, and I think what's his name? Trick got nailed with the belt by Eddie Thorpe, and that was his out. So Obafemi wins. So did you feel this great? Did you feel like you were there for such an important occasion for the introduction of the Julia and Obafemi era of NXT?
Well, yeah. I mean, there are 2 championship changes, and The Rock showed up. I mean, which was unexpected for me. So that was cool. It was cool to experience that live, and it's much closer to me than the Intuit Dome, so it's more convenient too. So that played a factor in me showing up as well. So cool. Yeah, it was cool.
I think you gave a 2 thumbs up to the King.
Yes, so
Charlie Dempsey match.
Yeah, I'll add this comment. So Julia versus Roxanne, that was the match I bought the ticket for, but this was to me the best match of the night. Lexis King versus man, I forgot his name already.
Charlie Dempsey.
Charlie Dempsey.
It's William Regal's son. All right, well, we're out of time.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, obviously that's why Regal's involved with this storyline. But all right, so that'll be all for our NXT review. If you want a comprehensive review, I put a link in the description. We've covered every storyline, thumbs up, thumbs down. Me and Robert did a review, so you could go to the description and find a link to that.